Hello, everybody. This is Wayne again, and this is the Upspin. How are y'all doing? How's your week been? You doing all right? Stress levels A-okay? Just checking, Best to be on top of that stuff if you can. So today I thought that we could talk a little bit more about your self-talk, the kind of things that you think about yourself, the kind of things that you say to yourself, the things that you might say to yourself when you're upset or when you're feeling good about yourself. It's all self-talk. It can make a big difference in your life. Okay, I want to start first by talking about affirmations. Now, affirmations, they got a little bit of a bad rap just because of a Saturday Night Live skit done by Al Franken all those years ago called Stuart Smalley. And, he would give these really funny kind of little daily affirmations. And, it was a funny skit and everything. I'm not going to deny that. But while, little daily affirmations like that aren't necessarily the silver bullet that are going to take the depression out of your life 100% just by doing that, they are a good positive thing. It all ties into this whole self-talk subject that I'm going to be diving into a little bit more. The affirmations are a bit of, they kind of scratch on the surface. They're kind of a little doorway to get you into some deeper, more meaningful self-talk. Now, what do I mean by self-talk? Self-talk, what does that mean? It's pretty self-explanatory, actually. It's the things that you say to yourself about yourself. Now, my personal experience growing up, I was given a lot of doubt just about me, about the fact that I was the youngest, or that, I didn't know what I was talking about when I did. Just a lot of doubt. People just doubted me in general. And the thing is, from a young age, that translated into actual feelings about myself. My self-esteem was just really low, and I used to say stuff like that to myself because I believed it. I believed that I wouldn't be successful. I believed that maybe I wasn't smart enough or I wasn't good enough to do whatever it might be. Obviously, that's not a real healthy way of looking at yourself. As I got older, the negative self-talk got worse and more consistent, and it was just kind of a consistent barrage of smiling on the outside and I can put a positive face on, but inside I was telling myself I'm a fraud, I shouldn't be here, I'm terrible at this, I'm a bad person, what have you. I was telling myself that. And the thing is, after all of that time, I believed it too, which is kind of sad. And I know that a lot of people that are depressed, they talk this way about themselves, especially nowadays. You go on to social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or wherever, and you see people posting quotes, constantly reminding themselves basically how damaged they are and how they're not worthy of things and how depressed they are. I mean, they could be very depressed, but at the same time, they're also reinforcing in their own mind that they are not worth not being depressed, or they are not worthy of happiness, or they don't deserve something that makes them happy. This is what I want to stop in anybody that's doing this sort of thing. And I want you to turn that self-talk around into something positive. Now, it can start off as simple as the Stuart Smalley, I'm a good person and I feel great. But the thing is, your small talk, it has to be something believable. It has to be something that doesn't feel contrived and something that you can feel. Something that comes from you and something that you actually truthfully know about yourself. And then you can build from there. So, in the depths of your depression, there might be something that you're still rather good at, whether you can cook or, whether you have children that you love, or just something positive in your life. Do you play an instrument? Can you sing? Are you a excellent runner? Whatever it is. Start telling yourself through all of this hardships, I can still do this. I'm good at this. And nobody can take this away. I am good at this. Whatever, quote unquote, this might be. That's where you can start. You can get a toehold into the positive right there. You can build your strength off of that one small thing. All of this stuff, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be some magical keystone that you're going to turn and instantly you're going to feel great. No, it's not going to be that. Every journey worth taking is, one step at a time. And these first steps are crucial, but they're really not that hard to find if you're truthful with yourself. So find whatever little truth that you can hang on to, that you can just grab that thing like a piece of floating debris in a shipwreck, and grab onto that sucker and hang on. And don't be afraid to tell yourself that you're a good person. I mean, unless you're going around and stealing candy from babies and shoving old ladies out in the street and just being a general ass, you're probably a decent person. And you can tell yourself that. It's okay to compliment yourself. All right? It's okay to say, I might be down, but I'm a good person and I am worth much more than this. I deserve to be happy. That's a good one. That's one that worked for me. So I'm going to take a little break here and we're going to talk a little bit more about self-talk, and I'm going to mention something called mantras. Think about that. Think about that word, mantras. What does mantras mean to you? And we will get into that right after I try to pay the bills a little bit here. See you right back. I am not a medical doctor. The techniques and procedures described in this podcast are not intended to replace professional medical advice or doctor-prescribed medications. If there's any time that you feel that you're alone and you want to hurt yourself, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. You're not alone. It's a free call. Stop what you're doing and call. Okay, and we are back for part 2. I'm going to talk a little bit more about just general self-talk, and then I'm going to get into the whole mantra thing. Now, in the first part I was talking about that negative self-talk. And the thing is, if you do it for years, you're going to start believing it. And then when you start believing it and you're doing that negative self-talk on top of believing what you say, that is a spiral downwards. So the same mechanism that spirals you downwards, you can reverse that. You can come back up. All you got to do is change the subject matter and change your self-talk. And like I said, you just start with something small that you can believe in, something that is true for you. Some of the examples I had was, loving your kids, or maybe you're good at, tennis or whatever it is. It might seem silly if you mention it to somebody else, but make it something that's close to you, that you hold dear, and it's a positive thing. And build your positive self-talk up from that, acorn or whatever. We are going to grow a mighty oak of self-esteem. Okay? Can you picture that? So as time goes by, as the days and the weeks go by, and you continue saying positive things to yourself, about yourself, and you purposely try to realize when you are talking down about yourself and stop it. I mean, at first it takes a concerted effort to stop yourself from saying things like that about yourself. If you feel defeated, or you feel depressed, I mean, it's real easy to drop back into that very comfortable area of self-deprecation because I've been there. I know it's very comfortable to be there. It's not a great place to be, but it's all you know, so it's comfortable because that's what you're used to. You need to get out of your comfort zone a little bit on this. If you want to grow, you have to get out of your comfort zone on this. And you have to call yourself on your negative BS. And you need to just start talking more positively about yourself to yourself. And as time goes by, it gets easier. And as time goes by, you'll start to feel changes. You will. You'll start to feel little changes that, maybe you have slightly more better days in a row than you were before. Finding things that you can be positive about and then try to add gratitude on top of it. Because gratitude is like Dorothy's Yellow Brick Road to Oz. That's the way to go. If you can lay a good foundation of gratitude and thankfulness for whatever, for a good day, for a wonderful meal, for being able to get home through traffic or get home on the bus without being accosted by some bizarro person. Things like that. Anything you can be grateful for. I mean, even if you had a rough day and you come home and you've got food in your refrigerator, and be grateful for that. Just find gratitude where you can find it and then remind yourself of that. Tell yourself that you're grateful for it. Say the words out loud. Put it out into the universe. Whether it's doing anything out in the universe that, some people say it is, some people say it won't. All I'm saying is if you vocalize it, you say the words, you hear the words, you're forming the words in your mind and your brain, those are positive neural connections that you're building, and you are getting away from the negative neural pathways that you've been using before. You want to build positive biological bridges in your head. And gratitude and thankfulness and being positive about yourself, loving yourself, positive self-talk is all part of that. Okay, mantras now. I use mantras when I am working out and when I'm meditating or even when I'm walking. Now, a mantra is something that you have to think of something that is positive, and it's something that you can repeat to yourself over and over. That's why it's called a mantra. The mantras that I use, they don't have to be the same mantras. I'm not telling you to use the ones that I use or that anybody else uses. Find something that works for you. This is all a very personal thing. You can tailor it to yourself. I'm just going to share with you a couple of the things that I say to myself when I'm, like working out or when I'm walking or meditating. Now, one of the things I do when I'm working out, one of the mantras I will tell myself is I am getting stronger. The weakness is leaving my body. Now, how I use this is, say I'm going to be doing a set of, leg extensions or something like that. It's leg day. Here we go. It's leg day. So I'm sitting there, put the weight in there, and take a breath, get into the mindset of working out. And I think right before I extend my legs out, I think to myself, and I kind of say it out loud, just kind of quietly, so I don't want to disturb people around me, or I don't want them to think I'm insane either, I will say, I'm getting stronger. And then as I say the word stronger, I will extend my legs and lift that weight. And as I, hold and I then release the weight slowly down, I will then say weakness is leaving my body. And I will repeat that with every rep that I do, through every rep and every set. It's not always those exact words, but it's something along those lines that I will use when I am working out. And the thing is, It helps me a lot when I'm in the gym, when I'm working out. Helps to kind of shift my mind from the weight and maybe some of the pain that I'm feeling of, straining my muscles or whatever. But it's also building, some self-esteem. I'm getting stronger. Weakness is leaving my body. Those are positive things to be saying about yourself. Or at least I believe it's positive to be saying about myself. So find some things that you can do, whether you like to meditate or whether you take walks or run, you take a jog. Find something that you can say to yourself. Maybe it's just like I love my life. My life is great. I love my life. As you're running, your cadence is, left, right, left, right, left, right with your feet, and you're running, and you can just, here's the cadence of your feet hitting the sidewalk. Can you hear that? Those are your feet. And you can just kind of, I love my life. Or maybe you can split it up like, I love my life with your breathing. And you want to breathe, you want to make it personal to yourself. I don't know, that might seem a little hokey to you. But the thing is, if you're kind of whispering to yourself a little mantra like that and you're running by people, whatever, this is all about you. This is all about getting your head straightened out. And the thing is, like I said, when you form the words in your head and you actually say the words out loud out of your mouth, you take the physical action of forming the words in your mouth and get them out, you'll hear yourself. It's all just kind of like a big feedback system that's going to help burn those positive neural pathways in your head. And the deeper you burn those positive pathways and the more you neglect the negative ones, it's going to be easier to follow those positive ones. Pretty soon, being in the negative space is not going to be your comfort zone anymore. I used to be comfortable there. Now it's like, ugh. I don't want to sit in that flop house. I don't want to, it's like going into a flop house and you look at the couch that's been stolen out of a green room from a crappy nightclub and, it's like, I'm not sleeping on that thing. I'm not staying here. You get the hell out of there. You go somewhere nicer. Don't stay in the flop house of your mind. Go find a nice sunny field you can lay a blanket down and take a nap in a meadow. Okay? Doesn't that sound nice? That actually does sound nice right now. I could use a nap in a meadow right now. Excuse me, I had to take a little drink. So, anyways, when you're using your mantras, these are perfect times to reassure yourself that your progress with self-help is a day-to-day thing. If you have setbacks, your mantras can help kind of smooth those little rough bits over. You tell yourself that, yesterday doesn't matter. I'm going to move forward. As long as you're moving forward, just a positive goal, you can just kind of leave your mistakes in the past and tell yourself you're moving forward. I'm glad to be alive, and today will be a good day. That's something good to tell yourself. I know this works because all that self-deprecating self-talk over the decades just made me feel like crap. And when I stopped it and I started a positive spin on things, it all started to turn around. And now here I am talking to you nice people, and hopefully you're getting something out of this. So that's pretty much all I've got to talk about on that. I don't want to bore you too much. I just want to kind of lay some groundwork, something for you to kind of think about and chew on. Anyhow, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell people about this podcast. I want to try to build this up and help as many people as I can. You go to Anchor FM to my page. You can support me directly on that page. I've got a link on there where you can support me, and maybe I can do more than just one a week. And I'm just doing this for the love of helping people. I'm here. I want to tell you it's going to be okay. All you have to do is just Just remember that you are strong. And if you can't really be strong, it's okay. I'll be strong for you. Just hang in there. Okay? All right. Signing off. Have a good weekend, everybody. Cheers.